Exploring John Bowlby attachment theory. John Bowlby, a psychologist, psychiatrist, and psychoanalyst, notable for his interest in child development and for his pioneering work in attachment theory. John Bowlby's attachment theory was inspired by a number of factors, including his observations of children in a home for delinquent boys, psychoanalytic concept, and the work of Konrad Lorenz. Bowlby's attachment theory centers on the idea that a secure relationship with a caregiver is essential for a child's healthy development. He believed that the first 2.5 years of a child's life are critical for forming attachments, but later expanded this period to age 5. John Bowlby's attachment theory is important for understanding human development because it explains how early bonds shape a person's emotional and social development and how these bonds influence their future relationships. The cake principles or components. Attachment behaviors. Actions that promote proximity to a caregiver such as crying, smiling, and following. Internal working models. Mental representations of the self and other based on early attachment experiences. Secure base. A caregiver who provides a safe haven for the child to explore from and turn to. Separation anxiety. Distress experienced by infants when separated from primary caregivers. Critical period. The first 2 years of life are a critical period for attachment formation. Maternal deprivation. The separation or loss of the mother or the failure to develop an attachment. Working models. Mental representations of the self and others that guide how people think, feel, and behave. Sensitive period. A time frame during which attachment can form, though later researchers have modified Bowlby's original account. 4 stages of Bowlby's attachment theory. First, pre-attachment, newborn to 6 weeks. The first stage of attachment is from birth to 6 weeks. There is no attachment to any specific individual at this time. The infant does not show any preferences for adults and will not fuss when being picked up by strangers. During those first few weeks, the infant exhibits many actions to get the attention of the caregiver. This can include crying and smiling, which will elicit immediate action from the primary caregiver. Although not fully and exclusively attached to the caregiver at this time, the bond is beginning to form. The caregiver's reactions to the infant's signals and the positive responses from the infant begin to create a strong emotional attachment between the two. Second, attachment in making, 6 weeks to 6 to 8 months. In this stage, the infant begins to show preferences for caregivers over strangers. The primary caregiver, such as the mother, begins to have a powerful effect on the infant's behavior. The mother can soothe the baby more easily than others and elicit more frequent and sustained smiles because the baby is developing social referencing skills. If the mother is responsive to the infant needs, then a sense of trust is established. The infant learns that the primary caregiver can satisfy their basic biological needs. At this stage, even though the bond is becoming stronger, the infant will not yet exhibit separation, anxiety, and protest when separated from the primary caregiver. Clear-cut attachment, 6-8 months to 18 to 24 months. As the name suggests, during this stage, there is a clear attachment bond between the infant and primary caregiver. The bond can be quite strong. The infant will show strong protest when she is separated from the caregiver that can include crying loudly and quick bursts of random physical movements. The infant has a firm understanding of who to depend on when in need and shows a strong preference for that person over all others. Strangers will create a fair response in the infant that includes strong protest and distress. The infant is very likely to refuse being held by others and will resist being held by anyone other than the mother. Fourth, formation of reciprocal relationships, 24 months plus. As the child's cognitive development progresses, they develop mental presentations of others. This may lead to the formation of multiple attachments, including secondary caregivers such as the father, relatives, or babysitter. They also develop a fuller understanding of circumstances that influence the caregiver's behavior, which makes their world more predictable and less stressful. This understanding makes them less likely to show strong separation anxiety as they have learned that the primary caregiver will return. Verbal skills and other communication techniques also develop and will allow the child to express their needs and wants more clearly, at least in ways other than crying. Example: a student named Sarah always struggled with self-confidence. At home, she had a difficult relationship with her primary caregiver, which left her feeling insecure and anxious. Because of this, she often has trouble focusing in class, avoiding participation, and feeling disconnected from her peers. However, Sarah's teacher noticed her behavior and takes extra time to build a strong, trusting relationship with Sarah. Her teacher greets Sarah warmly each day, listens when she shares her worries, and offers consistent praise for her efforts no matter how small. Over time, Sarah begins to feel safer in the classroom and more confident in her abilities. The secure bond with her teacher starts to help her open up and participate more in class activities. In this example, Sarah's attachment history affected her behavior, but by forming a secure connection with her teacher, she gradually felt more emotionally safe and supported, which helped her engage better with learnings. Bowlby's attachment theory helps teachers understand students' behavior and learning by understanding students better. It helps teachers learn about their students' emotions and behaviors, improving communication. Creating a supportive classroom. Teachers can use these ideas to build a classroom where students feel connected and supported. Helping students feel safe. Teachers can adjust how they interact with students to make them feel safe and secure. Knowing what support is needed. Teacher can figure out what kind of help each student needs to do their best. Bowlby's theory can be applied in classroom by make the classroom a safe place. This means having clear rules, a positive atmosphere, and a place where kids feel comfortable asking for help. Build relationships. Get to know your students, learn their interests, and show them you care. Teach emotional skills. Helps kids understand and manage their feelings. Talk about feelings and show them ways to calm down. Encourage teamwork. Help kids work together and support each other. This builds social skills and help them feel connected. By understanding how early relationships affect kids, teachers can create a classroom where everyone feels safe, supported, and ready to learn. Do you agree or disagree with that theory? Why? I agree with Bowlby's attachment theory because it provides a strong framework for understanding how early relationships influence emotional and social development. How do you think this theory can impact your perspective as an educator or learner? Bowlby's attachment theory can change how I see learning by showing how important emotional safety and relationships are for learning. It makes me think about how my past experiences and current relationship affect my motivation, confidence, and focus. Understanding that learning involves both the mind and emotions can help me find supportive relationships and be more resilient when facing challenges. That theory also helps me be more self-aware, asking questions like how can I make myself feel safe while learning, and how can I build better connections with others to help me grow. Reflecting on these ideas can help me approach learning with more kindness and understanding toward myself and others.